Hey MVPs, Rico knows here. Going to talk to you guys about the next fight on the prelim. Full disclosure, I've recorded this video like 3 times. I really have. But I didn't get my point across enough, and I wanted to start the video over. So here, I want to talk to you guys about it. Quillan Salkilld, the kid from Australia. He's 25 years old, tremendously athletic, and he's fighting Anshul Jubli, the only fighter from India. Okay, you look at the odds, minus 725 favorite, plus 450 underdog. Oh my God, this has gone crazy. And I think when it opened, Salkilld was like a minus 300 favorite, and it just ballooned up to 725. A lot of you guys will be like, what's going on? Why is it doing that? Why are the odds going like that? Well, money, bro. And nobody's got an injury. Nothing's wrong. It's just money, okay? Now let's go talk about Jubli for a second here. Anshul Jubli, first and foremost, he's 7-1. He's lost one fight, and he lost it the last time he was in the cage last October. Now, if you've ever lost a fight, and it's your first loss in your entire career, my God, you don't want it to be like this, okay? Breeden was on a 3-fight losing streak going into this fight, and Breeden was losing this fight. Anshul Jubli won the first 2 rounds, and they go into the 3rd round, and oh my goodness, Breeden took his lunch money. Just took the heart out of him. And now nobody wants to take Jubli in any fight whatsoever. They just don't believe in him. Although he won those 2 rounds, they don't care. Because this man was mentally and physically defeated. You got another grown man barking at you, bro. Barking. Roof, roof, barking. Screaming America while he beats your ass. That's the truth. And you go to a country in India where there's 1 billion people, and nobody can really scrap over there. They have no black belts in jiu-jitsu. They have no black belts in taekwondo or Muay Thai. They have no black belts in any applicable martial art. So you got to get out of that country. You're the only guy that's representing that country, and you're 30 years old. They got to find somebody else to do it, bro. You're the king of the lions, but there's not a lot of lions. There just isn't. Okay? This isn't a movie. The other guy he beat was Jekka Sergi. We know Jekka sucks. Jekka lost to Weston Wilson, who is terrible. Jekka can't grapple at all. Jekka has knockout power, 1-punch knockout power. But in that particular fight, that was the final for the road to the UFC. All he did was take down Jekka, dominate him on the ground, and then eventually Jekka just quit, put the phone to his ear, and just lay there and wait for it to end. And you get a TKO by punches. They said elbows, but it was just punches. So Jubli wins some fights, he wins some rounds. He's not amazing. He's not terrible. He's just okay. I think of him as a 4-cylinder car. I really do. He's just, he'll get you where you need to go. Nothing special, bro. He ain't blowing you off the line. He ain't doing nothing fancy. But understand he's not terrible, okay? Just please. The fact that he's a plus 400 underdog to a guy who's never really fought in the UFC, who's on his UFC debut, is really mind-boggling to me. I'm not saying put your money on this dude. No. That's absurd. Okay, and we're going to talk about that here in a few. Now, Quillan Salkilld, his last time we saw him fight. You guys might not remember this. We saw him fight. He was on week 4 of the Dana White Contender Series against Gage Young. Week 4. You don't remember most of the fights on that card. You know why? All you remember is this Canadian housewife who's in the best shape of anybody you've ever seen fighting a slightly curvaceous fighter over here who showed up out of shape. Nobody ever knew of her or anything. They thought she was going to lose. This was a minus 1,800 favorite. The biggest favorite I've ever seen in UFC in my life. Against a plus 900 underdog. And what happened? Well, you know what happened. Boom. She's still asleep. Her fighting career ended that night. Dana White's confused because his investment's over. All of them have wide eyes. She is still asleep till this day. So, what a tremendous memory of all the money lost that night. Anybody who thought the Canadian housewife was going to get it done, it didn't happen. And Salkilld fought the fight before that. That's why you don't remember. He fought Gage Young. Gage Young, forgive the redundant nonsense, but a young fighter who everybody believed in. Gage Young is a regional fighter in America. They say he's the up-and-coming guy. All of them talk about Laura Senko can't shut up about how she trained with him and believes in him. While the fight's going on, the announcers are so biased towards Gage Young and how great he is. and he stood no chance in this fight. He lost 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. Salkilld went out there and dominated. So what is Salkilld, and who is he? Well, firstly, he looks very, very tall in the cage. He uses his length well. He is a 6 foot tall lightweight fighter, meaning 6 foot 155. So is Jubli. They're both the same height, but he just uses his length a little differently because he strikes. He strikes with his legs tremendously. His kicks were all body kicks. They hurt. They sound like they bang. They do all this stuff, and I was really surprised to see the way he strikes. He's in shape. He's a dog. He doesn't quit. And when you look on the other side, Jubli, we've watched him quit in 4K, right? We watched him quit in real life. In front of the world. This man's never quit. He's got that in him. He's getting takedowns when it really matters. And you're saying to yourself, oh, you just need a takedown to win the round? He's going to get it. And he's tremendous on the ground. He is a great grappler. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, something India doesn't have. He was a Jiu-Jitsu nerd for a long time. When I was going back and watching his regional fights, some of these fights in Eternal MMA, they're like in the lobby of a hotel. They're in some other places, man. And I was watching these fights, and I'm like, oh, that's a jiu-jitsu nerd. I don't like that kid. And he looks kind of sloppy, and ugh. Then you keep watching, and you go, whoa. He got a nutritionist. He became a professional. He got in shape. He started treating his body right. He's much bigger, stronger, faster. He's more athletic. I'm telling you, he'll beat Jubli in an arm wrestling match right now. He'll beat him in any competition because I think he's more athletic. So, yes, he looks like the better fighter. And you see the 9 takedown average. That's never good. 9 takedowns mean you can't control your opponent. He does weird trips. He does weird, nerdy shit, bro. When he's in a judo, like a 50-50 clinch for underhooks, each guy has an underhook. Instead of pummeling for underhooks and trying to do the right fundamental things, he'll do some weird hip toss, throw shit. I don't know what he's doing. So he's just a little crafty. It's a little nerdy in the fight game, but my goodness, does he have a length advantage here and a striking advantage. One thing I'll tell you about Jubli is Jubli moves very plotty. He's very simple. And his lead leg doesn't move the way you want it to. He doesn't get it out of the way. I think he's going to get his lead leg kicked to no end. All those kicks that Salkilld does to the body, I think he can just throw him at that lead leg and it's going to just end this fight. I really do. I also think Salkilld can win this fight by submission. Because he's so amazing. He's a grappler, bro, and he's dangerous. And when you have a guy quitting in front of you, then you can finish up all those chokes and get his back and things of that nature. So, obviously, Salkilld is going to win this fight. It's who I think is going to win the fight. But these odds, minus 725 to plus 450, absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. So, I'm going to pull up the fight card now and talk to you guys about it. Firstly, this isn't currently on the sportsbook, so you can't bet on it. But when you can, I want you to look for Salkilld by submission. It's worth a shot. It's worth the sprinkle. And then I've made it green. It's a lock. I think Salkild's going to win the fight. This is not something you should be parlaying. It's not. It might be in some parlays when I'm done with everything, but it's not something you need to parlay. And the reason is I don't think you should be betting on this fight. I'm not going to tell you to bet Jubli because I don't think he can win. Financially, it makes sense. Like, take the value bet and sprinkle it. Just like I told you, Tumor Burdell here. We took him because these odds are wrong. But the difference is he has a chance to win. Jubli doesn't. So I'm not going to waste my time telling you to make a value bet on somebody who doesn't have a chance to win. Jubli it's just these odds shouldn't be this way. So it's very dangerous. I don't like it. If it's a minus 200 on the sub, you still got to parlay it. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think it goes the distance. I think Jubli either quits or gets subbed early or at some point in the fight. I think the over-under is 1.5 rounds, so they might go longer than that. But it's just one of these things where Salkilld is more athletic. He's on his home turf. He's going to win this fight. And Jubli probably won't. But, man, being a 7-1 fighter and everybody selling on you and treating you like this, that just doesn't feel right. I'm going to go with Salkilld all day. I got to pick him. But careful. And all the blind tailers, well, they didn't watch the video and they deserve to lose their money. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Good luck, y'all.